And this is the gorgeousness that I get to see every morning. Well, and day, and whenever I choose to. But I figured I'd show you a little bit of the sunrise. So pretty.
There is magic inside of you.
Blessings to all of you beautiful beings. It's Elena and I'm enchanted to have you be here on my channel. Hello and welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. If you're new, consider liking, subscribing, becoming part of my little YouTube family. And if you've been here before, hello and welcome back to each and every one of you amazing, fantastic souls right across the screen. Lots of love, lots of warm hugs, and hopefully you and yours are safe. So this video has been frequently requested, and I figured before I change things up for next month to kind of rearrange my altar a little bit, I figured I'd give you a little overview of how it's set up now and majority of what's kind of stored around it. I do have a separate closet that contains the majority of my other witchy stuff, so to speak, that I can link up at the top if you want to go check it out when I cleaned it out and organized it. But otherwise, this is my little altar tour in my room, and well, enjoy. So here is kind of my altar space area. This is the far end of my little office spot, so it's kind of dual purpose. And what I have is not very fancy. It's just literally the top of an IKEA shelf, where I can use the bottom parts of it for storage, and again just a couple IKEA shelves stacked on top of each other. And I use these two cubbies as other like extra little altar spots, pieces, kind of sort of, because the altar that I have here is what I would consider a working altar, where I don't really have much of things for as offerings or as specific energy work or anything like that. This is kind of general, and I do my morning rituals here, my night rituals, and anything that I need to kind of put together or concoct. And sometimes it does act as more of like a traditional altar, that type of thing. I'll get into it a little bit later. I usually have a little artwork painting. This is from Llewellyn's calendar, and I had a couple of them, so I just take out the little papers for the corresponding month. We're in May, and I ended up like cutting them out because I don't have one for this year since I'm using a different type of booklet. But I like the artwork, it's very cute. This cubby is usually reserved to specific workings. For instance, I just recently cleaned things up from Beltane, however to pronounce it, because I know my pronunciations are not the greatest. So I had things here for Beltane and other like correspondences and associations. I do specific kind of offerings or divinatory work or anything like that for like a specific element or a specific holiday or moon or any of those things. You do see the candle in here, but I don't light the candle in here. The reason why I keep it in the tray is so that when I am ready to light the candle for it, I can either place it on the side over there or place it anywhere where I would think whoever I'm working with would enjoy that to be placed. In here I have my tower of notebooks, books, and like other witchy things, I suppose, but just books in general as well. This is kind of an overflow of where I keep my very large crystals that I'm not currently using for anything specific, and it's just this little cubby that I think is really cute, and I have this in the forefront so I can just anytime I walk by it, and I love it. And it's on a constant charging selenite plate, so I feel like this little ring kind of just helps clear the room. Other things down here is just things for crafts. There's stuff for Cricut, My Cricut maker lives here, and other papers and things like that live here as well. And so do my painting supplies and other things. Onto the main altar spot, I suppose. Some of these things might be a little bit familiar to you. I received them in some boxes, and that's one that I've kind of upcycled. Over in this corner, I have, this is my little tray for catching all the matches that I use. I have a couple crystals that are sitting here. This is carnelian, amethyst, and apatite. I have a little dish here which I use for charcoal, and it just kind of resides here whenever I want to use it. I have my constant and daily cleanser thing in this beautiful abalone shelf. Depends on my mood. I either use Palo Santo or sage or sweetgrass or whatever the case may be. I also have a candle here that is not necessarily anything like ritual or magic based. I just like to light it. There's cat hair all over the place too. I just like to light it on occasion, and here is, well, a spot for incense. And I don't like light all of this at once. I alternate depending on kind of what I'm feeling and what I want to do, but I just like it being out so I don't have to dig for it or pull it out anywhere or anything like that. This here, as you can hear, is a ceramic tile that I picked up from Home Depot so that it could be a little bit more fire friendly in case something were to escape. Now, when I do light this, I do move it a little bit further away from the curtains so that, you know, no flame will go up. And a good tip is to get just a tile. They have so many discounted tiles, and then different colors and different sizes and different aesthetics, so you're very easily able to pick up like any ceramic tile and it will be a little fireproof spot. Over here this way, I have a little DIY pentacle star that I kind of just keep this on unless I'm using it for something else. Here are where my tarot cards live. These are my favorite tarot cards. This is Shadowscape Tarot, and they're just beautiful. I have a review of these cards on my channel if you guys want to check them out. They permanently live in a little wooden box. Over here, right now while it's summer and spring, this little guy is going to be hanging out. I have, oh, you can very barely see that because it's so bright out there. This is one of my new favorite additions. My best friend gave this to me as a gift, and it is the Witch's Wheel of the Year. Oh gosh, it is the most beautiful piece of altar decor I own. And in the back, it's even has like all these little spokes that you're able to hang them for whichever holiday is happening. Oh, she's the best. Oh no! The little guy fell. I'm gonna put that up. And here I have another one of my favorite crystals. This is Petrified wood pumpstone. They're kind of like strewn across here. I suppose I'll just go across. Pine cone I found, feather I found, a rose from my best friend's wedding, the same one that gave me the tile thing. Here I have this little moon thing, and here I have, it's actually flipped backwards. I'm not going to show you the other side of it, but in the other side of it I have a blessing and kind of the name for my altar, and that I'm not going to show you. I have more crystals over on this little shelf. This is Flora and Frederico. You guys have named them in the little polls that I did a while back. I'm assuming this guy's not gonna grow. Nothing's been happening. She's a little finicky when it comes to watering. The moment there's not water in there, she like dies. So she might need a different pot or more dirt or whatever the case may be, or I might just need to take better care of her watering needs. So there's that. Moving on down, I have this little shelf that holds a ton of my goodies. Over here is where I keep a lot of my cleansing herbs or things like that. Just kind of have a little stockpile. I use them fairly frequently, so I tend to buy them in bulk, like good amount of them. So I have that here. Oh, I forgot to do some labels. Oh well. Here I kind of have different associations for things. I have my element tiles that I made. I have a little tchotchke thing of animal pieces. I did an unboxing for one of those things, but I have a little beaver jaw and antler, and I even have this. This is pretty cool. My puppy's teeth. When she was a puppy and she shed her teeth, and she would bring these to me. I kid you not, she would bring these to me, and I have a couple of, let me see if I can get that to focus. There we go. And I have a couple of her teeth, which I think is pretty darn cool, especially since it's such a connection to her. And then I have a couple other little bones in here. So, oh, need to move that around. Wouldn't want to break it, that would suck. Okay, then I have another little piece. This is Tree of Life, and I have Tree of Life altar decoration triple goddess thing here, and a little fairy coin that I recently got from one of the boxes. So these are some of the little associations that I use. Kind of not a very full thing, but these are the most common ones that I tend to use. Over here I have things like tools, or however, and matches, because I prefer matches, and just look how cute these are. I would definitely prefer matches over lighters. So I have a couple match books. Let's see what other things that I have in here. I have a little charcoal turner for when I use charcoal pieces. I'm actually gonna take them out and show them to you. I have a porcupine quill. This is pretty darn cool. I have this, oh my gosh, this lovely spoon. Look at that little funnely thing. When I use herbs or work with herbs, it's so easy to kind of scoop them up, and especially if I work with powders, and to disperse them into little jars, containers, or whatever I'm using. This spoon is just phenomenal for that. Scissors, of course. And I have a little candle snuffer, which acts as a bell as well if you bang on it. I have a little herb grinder thing for dealing with herbs and stuff, and a fan. Hold on. A very pretty fan that I got as a gift. This would work well when I do like my house cleansings and I fan the smoke throughout the house. So here's that. Moving down, I have earthenware, which is just pretty much a bunch of ceramic and glass pieces. I have my mini mortar and pestle, well used, well loved, and just some containers and storage, because there always never seems to be enough of those, and some space to add more things if I get them or thrift them or things like that. Little candle holders. And yeah, then I have candles. Some candles I use specifically for certain larger rituals, others for other things. And I have small candles, tea candles, just candles on hand. I need to add more white candles because I go through white candles fairly quickly or fairly frequently. I use them every morning pretty much. I light a white candle, set my intention for the day, and that type of thing. And this is where my Book of Shadows lives, amongst a ton of selenite. I don't know if you remember me talking about like a little charm chain that I've made, but all the charms that I've received from Tam Wild and other charms that I've made myself or collected myself, I have added them onto here. And so they're like a little bookmark charm chain of pretty things. Another selenite charging plate on my book, and this is where my Book of Shadows resides, or my main one that I use. Moving on this way, I have a little stand here that I sometimes put an oracle card that I'm working with for the day or other things, and that's also a really good stand for the mirror that I use for any other divinatory work, and it's just a good stand overall. I have a Selenite Tower, or feldspar for American direct translation of what the stone is. I have a Caesura and a Celestite. These kind of like reside here permanently. Then I have the little hand, and of course another petrified wood palm stone. Then this is my little storage thing. Oh, I need to put this out of the way. Storage thing of smaller crystal towers or smaller crystals that I use. I wouldn't necessarily say fairly frequently, but they're just smaller and I can store them here instead of their boxes in other areas. And moving back around to here, I have a couple seashells and my own little oil creation make that I apply to myself daily. I have this little stand here. This is a little 3D printed piece that my husband made for me. And like I said, I light a candle every single day. I don't let it burn down all the way. I reuse it until it is burnt down. So I do my morning journaling on here, and I specifically put this little tray on top of here so it will be higher and like more comfortable for me to write with my journal on here. I have just a little dish of other little stones and crystals, altar cloth type of thing. But here's a cool thing. This, if I am working with lots of flame and fire things, I take this out of the way, and this is metal. So it is a fireproof little contraption so that I'm able to work with fire a little bit more comfortably. Of course, removing all of this and, you know, being more certain that I'm just not gonna light the house on fire, because I do like to play with flame quite a lot. Both of my moon and rising are both fire zodiacs, so that explains why I prefer fire. Over here, it ends up being like a little cubby. Hello. And I have little papers in here constantly for daily intentions or anything like that, and so usually I keep my journal here or my diary or whatever, but I ended up moving it for some reason. So here's that, and what I did to kind of just like extend the shelf, because the IKEA shelf ends over here and there's like 4 fingers worth of length, is just like a little particle board to kind of extend it and covered it with an altar cloth, so I have a little bit more room. Another cool thing about this tray thing is that it has a little lip over here. So if I'm doing something that will be particularly messy or ashy, or if I'm mixing up a lot of herbs, I end up taking this thing and like flipping it upside down, so it ends up being like a little holding tray that is fireproof, and then I'm able to concoct whatever magics I need in there. So another tip. Majority of these things are not like specific altar decorating items. They're just thrifted, picked up, and repurposed for what I'm using for, because I don't think this jewelry box was intended to hold tarot cards, and yet it works so great for it. Majority of the items I have here are thrifted. So I'm going to show you a little bit of things that I have in storage down here, which is the shelf directly under it and like 2 shelves directly under it. So here I have my steel drum. I love music and incorporating music into, oh gosh, let me unzip it and give you a peek in there. My little steel drum, it sounds so lovely. Then I have my little altar broom, what I call it, and that's in case if I spill any herbs or anything like that, I'm able to sweep them up, and it's cute and tiny, and it just kind of hangs out over here in case I make a mess. Over here I have another drum that this was so wonderfully gifted to me by Karma. She has a delightful YouTube channel here as well, and she sent this to me, and it just, sounds amazing. The camera's not gonna pick it up well enough. Over down this way, I have more storage things. This is my little pendulum jar where I run my pendulum through here so it hangs down so I'm not holding it. That type of thing, because my hands are not very steady, especially if I'm having a bad health day. Then I have incense, tons of incense sticks, and more matchbooks living here. I guess this is a very flammable drawer, and I will try not to light it on fire. Over here I have my little pendulums. I don't have that much of a collection because I normally really use this guy. Oh, let me try to get the focus in. This guy, I've showed him in my videos before, and I really started liking this guy, which came in the subscription box. I haven't played with this one yet, but I definitely am looking forward to. I have some meditation beads, and over here I have rune sets. I have 2 rune sets. And in this drawer I have other little tools and trinkets and my athame that I got from one of my boxes. More divination tools, some other storage things, the oils that and sprays and things like that that I frequently work with. Over in this cubby is part of the collection of my tarot and oracle cards. These are the ones that I kind of couldn't fit into a different thing, and wow, words are hard. Books that I use, and this is what I've been using, the spell a day instead of the big calendar thing. This is the Shadowscape's Companion, Sabbath's Almanac, and Magical Almanac. So these I use fairly frequently, and that's why they are so close to my altar. Yep, like I said, tarot cards and oracle cards here. Here are some repurposed boxes from Witch's Moon, and they hold other storage things inside. This drawer is where my traveling altar lives. If you want to see a video of how I made it, designed it, came up with it, I will link that up at the top. Here is more of my tarot cards collection. Now this is what I mean by I like to repurpose and reuse a lot of things. These are Ferrero Rocher, however to pronounce them, like chocolates were in here, and I like to use them because they're a great type of like storage, and you're able to see the tarot cards in here. So I have some tarot cards and oracle cards in this one, and then in that one, oh, there you could see them a little bit better, and one more. That's that. And I feel like this way it's not only easy to see them and stuff, it's easy to store them, and the little cardboard containers are a bit more protected since these are slightly flimsier in packaging. Then I have a collection of altar cloths in this one, and we're back around to the drum. The bottom here are just scrapbooking papers and decor things, which I have for my arts and crafts and things like that. Y'all, don't sleep on these craft things, because not only can they be used for crafts and various artsy project stuff, they also make really good background for product photography or any like sort of little photography things. They do great little backgrounds, and it can be used as an altar cloth, where it's not actually an altar cloth, it's just a little decoration type thing. And with these you can even like draw and reuse them, write on them, burn them after you're done, whatever the case may be. And especially something like this pattern can be used for crystal grids or anything like that. So don't sleep on these. They work great not only for artsy craftsy stuff, but for like magical stuff as well. And I have a couple loose ones in here that are not part of a little notebook, or they came out of the notebook, or whatever the case may be. So a couple loose ones there. And then I have my collection of dried plants for crafty things, and more stuff there. Well, and more decorative paper there. So there you have it. This portion of my little sitting area. I'm actually sitting down right now. And all my little altar things, altar pieces. Let me know what you think. Like I said, majority of them have been thrifted and are not actually witchy things or whatever you want to call them, and they're just practical, useful, and what I like to do. Oh, also, like I said, I turn it upside down, use it or whatnot, but if I need more room for something, I could just pick it up and move it, which is what I like, which is why I call this my working altar, since I do work stuff on it, or workings, magical workings, or whatever. And here's the cubby again, the other cubby. I'm gonna decorate it for the next moon. And well, another ding. hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video. The reason why I'm sharing it with you because I'm going to be changing it all around just a little bit. So it's not going to be exactly like this for my next time using it. It's going to be slightly switched around just to move around some energies and stuff. Let me know if you have any questions regarding any of the items that I use for or anything like that. And with that, I shall see you in the next video. Bye!